So not long ago, I took my first look at the new Smith & Wesson CSX. I talked about the specs, and I spent a day at the range with it, where I told you what I liked or didn't like the most. If you didn't see that review, I'll put a link on screen and in the information below, so be sure to check out that review for a lot more details. It occurred to me that the biggest competition for the CSX is in fact another Smith & Wesson product. One that I'm sure you know about, the Shield Plus. The link for my initial review of that pistol is also provided here for you if you didn't see that. But today I thought it might be helpful to a lot of people if I compare the two. In case you're in the market for a small 9mm handgun, you know you want a Smith, but you're not sure which one. Or if you're like me and you just like comparing guns and hearing things go bang.
All right, let's do a little bit of range work with these two little Smith & Wessons and see what is the same and what's not the same. I will talk candidly about what I like and what I might not like about each pistol. I don't have any of those thoughts in my head at this moment, so those will be completely organic while I'm shooting the two guns. I'm obviously more familiar with the Shield. I've had a Shield for a really long time in all of its different variants, and so I'm very accustomed to the Shield. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm biased towards it. I'm just more used to it. The CSX, I've only really had one big range day with it. When I did my first review, I spent an entire day with it at the range, and I told you all the things I thought about it at that time. So now it's really not so much to add to that. Maybe something's changed. My opinion might be different today than it was on that day, but it's more of a comparison between the two guns. If one of them is clearly better, I will tell you that, or I'll tell you that I think that, because it really is just an opinion. It's really more about contrasting. If you're thinking about a small Smith & Wesson handgun for personal protection, and you're looking at these two, maybe you're brand new to personal protection or concealed carry, or maybe you're switching to Smith & Wesson or considering that or whatever, but for whatever reason you know nothing about either of these two guns, well, I hope I can give you a little bit of good information to help you tick certain boxes or decide which one you want to look at further. So let's get on with it. I have in a very nice custom-made holster from Multi-Holsters, the CSX. So that answers maybe question number one, is there aftermarket support? Well, I can assure you that there is, and Multi-Holsters is my favorite custom holster shop. I go to them all the time for stuff, and they got this holster to me when this gun was still brand spanking new. Still had that brand new Smith & Wesson smell. So as long as I've got it in my hand, I'm going to start out with this one. All right, I'm going to seat the magazine with the slide closed. I'm doing that on purpose. That's not what I normally do, but I just want to see how difficult that is. This does have an ambidextrous safety because it is a hammer-fired gun. So there's one big difference right away, right? One's hammer-fired, the other's striker-fired. It's nice that the safety is ambidextrous, and it's very small, yet at the same time, it's very easy to operate. It's easier to take off than it is to put on, but still, it operates very nicely. Okay, this is a tiny little handgun. And it does have that odd trigger with that funny feeling reset. But I'll tell you, I think this thing is just such a nice shooter. The recoil impulse is extremely low, I think, for a gun its size. Didn't reset the trigger. The trigger is one of my only complaints, I think, about this little gun. Okay, I'll switch over to the M&P shield now, and I'll do the same thing. I will load it with the slide closed, and both of them take a pretty good slam, nice firm tap. Some guns are nearly impossible to load. Some guns are nearly impossible to load with a full magazine, you know, when the slide is closed. So that is a test that I like to do. All right, here we go with the M&P, and this one, as you might notice, has an optic on it. That is one of the big differences, is that the M&P shield, the newer ones, you can get them optics ready. You can even get them with an optic on them, I think. And that's not available for the CSX. So while it may seem like an unfair comparison, it's a legitimate comparison. And the recoil impulse is very nice also with the shield. I have to say, I almost feel like it's a little less recoil with the CSX, but one magazine in each gun is not enough to really form that opinion yet. They both come with a flush fit magazine and an extended magazine. Both flush fit magazines hold 10 rounds. There's an advantage for the M&P shield in that the extended magazine holds 13 rounds. The extended magazine for the CSX holds 12 rounds. So it's a 1 round deficit. One of the other things I may have mentioned already that I really do like about the way Smith designed this gun is, with the safety engaged, you can charge the weapon. A lot of guns you can't do that. The safety is working on the trigger mechanism, the fire control group only. It's not a physical block on the slide. So you can manipulate the slide. You can, you know, load it, unload it, all that good stuff with the safety engaged. And I'm a big fan of that. I think if you're going to have a gun with an external safety, that's really how it ought to behave. The sights are a little simpler on the CSX. They are very effective. It's a nice 3-dot picture. It's a comfortable little gun, and the fact that it has that polymer insert at the front strap and the polymer palm swell on the back gives you a really nice grip on the gun. It just doesn't move in the hand at all. The back strap / palm swell comes in different sizes on both of those pistols, so that's same. Okay, back to the M&P with its extended mag. And I'm able to do that, so that's good. This has upscale sights on it, as well as the optic. Yeah, it's unless you hate M&P for some reason and you hate the shield, it's hard to beat a good shield. But the CSX feels a lot like it. It's the more I shoot the two of them back and forth, the more they feel very, very similar.
Okay, here's a comparison of the key specs. The Shield Plus has a 10-round magazine and a 13-round extended mag. The CSX has a 10-round magazine and a 12-round extended magazine. My Shield Plus is cut for an optic, but it's available with or without that cut. The CSX does not have an optics cut available. Shield Plus weighs 19.3 ounces, the CSX 19.5 ounces. Both have a 3.1-inch barrel and are 6.1 inches long. Now here's where we hit the fork in the road. The CSX is a hammer-fired gun, and the Shield is striker-fired. Shield is a polymer-framed handgun, and the CSX is aluminum-framed. The CSX has less height at 4.2 inches tall versus 4.5 inches. That's with the 10-round magazines in each pistol. And finally, the price. Shield Plus with the optics cut lists for $549. The CSX goes for $609, as you see it here. Now, let's see if I shoot one better than the other.
All right, for me, and hopefully for you, it always comes down to which one do I shoot the best? Because you can like everything about a gun. You can think it's prettier and feels nicer in the hand, and has more good, cool stuff and all that, but the one you shoot the best is probably the one you might want to stick with. So I've got a target 12 yards down range, and I'm going to shoot 10 rounds of Fiocchi ammo, and it is, what's the grain? Fiocchi 124 grain ball, the pointy stuff. So I'm just going to shoot 10 rounds of each side by side at that target down there. You can see that it is pre-designated that I start with the Shield on the left. Hold on. I had it earlier. Oh well. It is breaking in still. Okay. And I'm going to use the red dot, I think. Might as well. Nah, I'm just going to use the sight. All right, there's 10 of those. And now 10 through the CSX. Got no choice but open sights on this one, right? Okay, I can't see for sure. I know I didn't keep them all in the orange with either gun, but I'll have to look more closely. I can't really tell at this distance, but it felt like I was shooting better with the CSX. So you never know.
So here are the measurements of those groups, which were very close. The full group from the Shield was 2.9 inches. Full group from the CSX was 3.35 inches. But hold on, let's take away the worst shot from each group and remeasure. That gives the Shield a 2.6 inch group and the CSX a 1.75 inch group. So the numbers are pretty even depending on where my wild shots go. The CSX is at least as good a shooter as the Shield, and in some hands, it might be better. Both guns are solid performers and top quality products. But there are some issues still to work out with the trigger on the CSX. And until that happens, I have to say, Shield Plus is better overall. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks as always to my Patreon patrons. and everyone who supports the channel. Do me a favor and please hit the like button. It really does help. And subscribe with notifications if you don't already, so that you won't miss any new content. And I'll see you again soon.